here. There's so many great, amazing people here, and I'm hoping to make amazing contacts. Obviously, there's a lot of people on here, so that's amazing. I love you guys. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you,
No real
Rachel.
questions. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have questions for Steve?
Oh, well, thank you. So, Steve, I sincerely appreciate the vision, the information, especially for reuse. We had success converting an ALF to treatment center because it was 3 times the income in Northwest Houston, and the Health Human Services really appreciated it. One element that we have now is a hospital we can convert to an ALF, and I wanted to follow up with you and see what is possible where we could use it as a triple net lease and have the operators take care of it. And so I look forward to hearing your advice, especially from also a family office perspective in the community.
Okay, well, thank you. So I love the idea. I don't have much experience at all in the ALF side, but I do have experience in the treatment world because we own treatment centers, both for the real estate side and for the business side. And I think,
Yes.
you know, that is a good conversion. You know, there's that adaptive reuse is, you know, again, you have the right bones that you're starting with, and sometimes that is your biggest impediment on adaptive reuse is how much is, you know, how much work and is it going to take to maybe to really adapt it to what the use you want to do. But you know, ALF, I'm assuming, is very similar in a lot of ways to what we own, our drug treatment facilities in Palm Beach County and Miami and Dade County. And we're also looking to expand into the Orlando Kissimmee market. That I could speak to, and I think it is a similar model as ALF, but I don't have experience with it. And that would, having a hospital converting to a treatment facility would be phenomenal in a lot of ways because it's perfectly suited. Actually, a hotel is also a good conversion, at least for drug treatment. And I would imagine it would could also be, you know, lend itself as a good adaptive reuse to ALF.
Yes. Yes, we finished our inspections and the county and state reviews and the licenses, and brought in people from St. Joseph's Hospital in terms of medical directors. And so I'm licensed phase 1, phase 2. And so, yeah, I look forward to a discussion with you. The numbers were our 60 line item Excel chart for the first 18 months of launch looks quite consistent in mitigating risk and bringing value.
That's great. That sounds like a winner to me.
Well, thank you.
That's good. Awesome. All right, McKenna, did you have another question?
Thank you, Tim. Yes. Also, Stephen, thank you again for the generosity of your time. When you are trying, and I know many of us don't like that word, but we all try in here every day. When you're trying to get the attention of someone to join you in the vision, in the idea, specifically the guys that we call potential investors, what are the 3 key words that are always part of your vocabulary so you can maximize on that connection? Like, how do you approach someone from family offices, but having like 3 keywords that are non-negotiables when you engage for the first time?
3 keywords that are non-negotiable. Well, I'm not sure what that means exactly. When you say non-negotiable keyword, what does that mean?
Meaning in the sense that you will stay true to yourself. That's a non-negotiable. You will be yourself. You'll be ethical in integrity and make a first meaningful connection, and hopefully for the right outcome or not, but something that you are who you are, but at the same time, you want that person to see that in you so you can build not necessarily an instant trust, but hopefully a strong trust.
Well, I mean, I think you have your passion and your goal and your and the direction you want to go, and you can't deviate for an investor, because a lot of investors tend to also be advice givers. I have in any of these projects or these concepts of these visions, and I have more interest in forget it, the adaptive reuse can mean a lot of things, but I like to make a change, a major change, and I want to affect that change. So I don't ever deviate. I can't. If I do, I've given up. Then I don't believe in my vision anymore. So, when I first, there's a town where I live and I do a lot of development. It's called Delray Beach, Florida, and we have a history of segregation. So there's a line that's drawn between the very, very expensive area and a more racial area in the town that has always been we tried to merge, and none of the development went across that line, and we were the first ones to build and put together a large $300 million project, which is very big for that city. It was the biggest ever in that city. Development we'll call it the other side of the tracks, and I was unable to get a loan from one single lender. I was unable to really raise capital from institutions, period, because I was in the wrong location, even though my vision was going to change, and that was going to become the valuable side of the downtown. And I had to go through the first 4 years of the project with no financing, and was told that I'll never rent it. It happens that that's now today the highest rent in the downtown. It has spurred new projects and new development, in that area. And, I just couldn't waver. But I had a lot of trouble. I had a family office from Connecticut that was going to be my institutional investor. And it's a very, very well-known individual who is the head of the family, is a multi-billionaire. It's very, very well known, that just told me that it'll never work. You'll never get the type of rents that you think you will get because of the location you're in, and it's not going to change. And they were wrong. So, but it took 5 years but that you can't give up on. If you have a vision and you believe in it, you got to be 100% in. You can't waver. I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. McKenna, thank you. All right, guys, any other questions at all, whether it's for Steve, for me, anything around, adapted reuse, conversions, funds, any, raising capital, any questions at all? Last chance. Here, Rashad asked, anyone know of any books that will provide in-depth education on conversions? Any educational materials out there that you would recommend, Stephen?
I don't know of any. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I'd love to read some.
I know.
Maybe we get together and write a book one day. But
yeah, you should.
There is a lot of data that you can go. For example, Zillow. Zillow has a whole analytics section in that website and so does all of the federal reserves of every city. St. Louis, San Francisco, New York Federal Reserve. There's a lot of data. And that really came from my hedge fund world, but a lot of housing data, a lot of trends data that you should look at. That might be more important than anything you hear from anybody, because it's not effective. There's no bias in it. But there is a lot of great data out there that's available. That's not that you don't have to that you won't get from your news, reading the news. Anybody wants calls me, text, emails me, I could send them different websites That's the best I could do. I don't know of any books, but I definitely know of sites where you can get good data.
That's good. All right. Okay, it looks like we don't have any questions for you, Steve. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you. Thank you,
Oh,
everybody.
Rachel, do you have a last question? Rachel, is that why you're raising your hands? Unmute, please. Unmute. You're on mute. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
I did it again. Hi, Steve, Rachel Cohen. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. You know, I live in Pembroke Pines. I'm like down the street. I would love to meet up for like coffee
Oh.
sometime and just get to know you.
Love to. Sure. That's great.
All right, cool.
Definitely
So
reach
I'll
out
make
to me.
contact. Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. I got you on
I'll
the
look
spot. I
forward to
know.
No problem.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Stephen. Thank you so much, sir. Really
All right,
appreciate you.
everybody. Have a great day.
You too. You have a blessed day.